Suddhanandaji Vedesangavadakramopanishade Ayandiyam Samagaha Dhyanavastidadadgatena manasa Pashyandiyam yoginaha Yasyandam navidusura suragana Yaya tasmai. Okay, please read verse number 2 onwards, please. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Veshyamano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Te me Yukta Tamamataha Ye Tvaksharam Manirdeshyam Avyaktam Pariyupasate Sarvatragam Achintyam Cha Kutastham Achalam Dhruvam Sanniyamyendriya Gramam Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha Te prapnuvanti mameva Sarvabhuta hite rataha. So, right. So to Arjuna's question as to between these two types of people, who is better or who is greater? One is satata yuktaha bhaktaha pariyupasate. Some devotees, somebody always abiding in you, seeing Ishvara in every form. And another person, aksharam abhyaktam pariyupasate, revels in the imperishable, the formless, unmanifest absolute. Between the two, which one is, who is better or who is greater? When he has asked this question, Bhagavan does not straight away directly tell, this one is better, that one is greater. No, there is no direct answer for that. In a sense, both are one and the same. But if you say both are one and the same, yet there is a little difference. The difference is the individual who is contemplating on Ishvara, he has to rely on a particular form, any form. Whereas the person who is reveling in himself does not need any name, any form. He is always with the nameless absolute. Therefore, don't say that the person reveling in nameless absolute is better than the one who is reveling in all forms. Both have the same implication. In both the places, individuality disappears. In the case of the devotion, in the macrocosm, totality, individuality is resolved completely. where the body becomes part of the total body, mind becomes part of the total mind. And in case of the revelry in the Absolute, the individuality has no place. It can't exist. It is like, take that example, the ocean reveling in water, or it is reveling in ocean. When the wave revels in ocean, recognizes the ocean in the wave. Ocean is all pervasive. Previously, the wave did not understand itself as a part of the ocean. It was considering itself an alienated, separated, lonely existence, growing in the body of the ocean, which seems to be so vast, and itself separated, growing and continuously disintegrating. There was a fear. Now the teacher comes and points out, you are not this wave, you are the water. That itself becomes a release. That is why it begins with the wave only. The wave can begin with the wave, cannot begin with the ocean or the water. Same thing also. The whole study of the whole universe or the entire creation must begin with you, the individual. You are the beginning point. That must be clearly seen. The moment you break that order, leaving the individual apart, in your enthusiasm, when you jump into the stream of the creation or God and all that things, you always remain a mystery. In China and Japan, where the Buddhism has taken a deep root, in this one of these Buddhist monasteries, there was a person, old man, staying. In China and Japan, they call these alphabets as a character. Character. Because each letter is like a picture, very, very difficult to appreciate what it is. So what he was doing, one old man was sitting down in a monastery, then somebody asked him, one learned scholar goes there and asks him, have you studied something? And this learned scholar, old man said, no, I have not. He said, it is time you learn something. You must study some books. Then the old man smiled and asked, can you teach me about this character? Understand? Can you teach me about this character? First letter, first character, this. Unless you know about yourself, the creation shall always remain a mystery. That is why in a tradition, where any type of thing to deal with the individual is branded as selfish, you have no hope. Looking for personal happiness, looking for personal redemption, looking for personal satisfaction, if it is branded as selfishness, the person doesn't know what to do. Because he is supposed to always think of others. It has to begin with yourself. Please know, with you, the creation does not begin. But the creation will have no meaning for you if you are not there. So between the two, you are the beginning point. Does it register in your head? Do you really appreciate the importance of yourself? Very important. I begins with myself. Everybody must begin with himself. And long before you go into the totality, the macrocosm, start with the individual, the microcosm. Like the wave, when it is growing and disintegrating, his fear is about his own existence, not about the existence of the ocean. So the wave guru, if it appears, what shall he say? If he says you are part of the ocean, he won't understand. What is the ocean? The mind of the wave cannot grasp the vastness of the ocean, but he can tell you are water. Where is the water? Top, bottom, middle, everywhere there is water. Oh, I see. So as water, you don't rise or fall. As a name and form, as a wave you rise and fall. But as water, you are never aging, never dying, in and through the aging wave, dying, disintegrating wave. Now it will be a great relief. The next step is the water here in this wave is same water in and through the ocean. Oh, it is all pervasive. And that time we call it ocean. Aha. Exactly same way, when individual little elemental wave of elements, this body is rising and getting disintegrated, individuality now feels threatened. It wants to know, what is this? So that time, if somebody straight away tells him, you are the totality, you are the Ishvara, the individual mind doesn't grasp, cannot grasp the vastness of the creation. That is what in the morning we saw. To a child, how do you discuss, how do you talk to the child about the totality? Very difficult. The child must begin with himself. So as you are growing, you understand about yourself. But then this self, please, I hope you thought over the whole class in the morning as I shared with you. When you begin with yourself, two languages you can use. One is language of the self, other is language of happiness. This is what we have seen so elaborately in our introductory classes. Looking for yourself, listen carefully, if you ask everybody, what do you look for in life? It may look as though you are looking for a sound or a touch or a taste or a sight or something, but in reality, you are looking for happiness. Everybody is looking for happiness in life. Now, where is the happiness if you will start looking for it? There is no external address. Nor there is inside, neither outside nor inside, but is your nature. That is why if you have not heard the initial lecture, now this is, how is this? I have no time. Go back to reference. To go back to yourself, the happiness. You are the happiness. Once you discover that you are the happiness, everybody looks for happiness. Listen, everybody looks for happiness, and happiness is yourself. So what are you looking for in life? Everybody is looking for himself. So if you find yourself, you find the happiness. When you find the happiness, you find yourself. Both are one and the same. Now when you find this happiness in yourself, long before you find the happiness in yourself, you are looking for happiness in the object. So whichever object gives you a comfortable sensation, that becomes the object of happiness. So object of happiness has a form, but the happiness as such is formless. Saguna, nirguna. Happiness has no form. It is yourself. Object of happiness has a form. Now, as a child, when I am beginning with the object of happiness, inevitably I have to begin with that only. I can't understand I am happiness. I listen to the music. I love music. Cool climate in summer. Oh, I love the cold breeze. I love the sight. I love the taste. I love the smell. Whoever provides me these things also, I love that person. So that object of love, that object of happiness becomes my icon. That becomes an icon of happiness. Now I am worshipping that. So in your emotion, whichever object gives you a comfortable sensation, conducive, desirable sensation, that becomes the icon of happiness, and I am now devoted to the object. That is how the life begins. I am the devotee of so many sensations. It can be a drug, it can be food, it can be liquor, it can be listening to music, sound, touch, taste, smell, anything. You become a devotee. Then you are disappointed. I'm asking for that object of God. Listen carefully. That similarity, you must grasp it inside. So I'm worshipping the object of happiness because it will give me happiness. As long as I'm worshipping the object of happiness to give me the happiness, that long I shall not find it, because I am the happiness. Exactly the same way, listen carefully. When you come to God, as a child you are introduced, this is the God. A name is given or a form is given. This is the only God. So you become a devotee of that God. Now you are desperately praying to the God to discover, to see the God. You shall not see it until you see yourself. That is where people shall imagine the visualizations, the perceptions of various kinds, extraordinary sensations. Literally, imagination runs riot. That is why so many different types of divine, spiritual experiences written. Insanity adds to it every day. The person is not aware of himself. You become the devotee of that particular form. As even, listen, as even from the object of happiness, when you start looking for happiness from the object of happiness, if you want to really go for the happiness, you have to move into yourself. From the object called a God, you have to move into yourself. Understand that point, please. Are you getting that, please? Nirguna, so happiness as such, who you are, formless, nameless, absolute. When you see that, what happens now? You have got a choice. Understand? You have got a fantastic choice. What is the choice? Either I can be happy with myself as I am, or while going through the experiences of the object, while experiencing the sensations through the object, I recognize myself that I am the happiness in every sensation, in every experience. That becomes Saguna Upasana. So happiness is never lost sight of. Either you see happiness as you are, or you see happiness through in and through every sensation. Vishayanande, Brahmananda. Both way you are released. Are you getting that? Both way you are released. Happy with yourself, free. Or while experiencing sound, touch, smell, everything, in every perception, every sensation, you see yourself. And that is what meditation is all about. In every And as you are the meditation itself, samadhi, or in every perception or thought, you see samadhi yourself. So nirvikalpa samadhi, savikalpa samadhi. Samadhi, with yourself you are, but no vikalpa, no modifications whatsoever. And whatever modification is there, you see yourself in every modification. Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadhi. Wherever thoughts move, there itself you see samadhi, yourself. Thoughts cannot move away from the inescapable touch of awareness that you are, samadhi. It is just like when you saw the Vivek Chudamani, that example, when by mistake, when the rubber ball falls from your hand, it goes from step to step, first step, fourth step, eighth step, 20th step, runs down. Wherever it may run down. See, the example is, it goes on jump, jump, jump. Thoughts are also like that. You go on projecting. Like, first thought, suppose, Om Namah Shivaya. Now from Shivaya, it goes to Shiva, the dog. Hey Shiva, oh Namah Shivaya, oh Shiva dog. Very nice, he has a nice color also. Or somebody got it from France. Oh, France is a beautiful country. Nothing like Eiffel Tower. Oh, Taj Mahal also nice. The 7 wonders in this earth. Oh, Earth is a big planet. Solar system, oh my God. But a solar system, I saw the picture in my science book. Where are you? You go, are you getting that point? You are going from Namah Shivaya. Now you are in science book. How beautiful. Half an hour wasted time, meditation over, must be. Yeah, people delude themselves. I am sitting in meditation. Listen, friends. When you go to sleep, your problems sleep. Listen carefully. When you go to sleep, your problems also sleep with you. They remain in a potential state. You get up, the problems get up. If the problem is solved, after you get up, if the problem is solved, you are not sleeping, you are resolving it. If it's so-called meditation, you forget your problems for some time, as though. The suppose, after the so-called end of it, because it begins and ends, the problems again appear. Are you sleeping or meditating? Only sleeping. If the problem appears as a problem at the end of your so-called meditation, you are sleeping for some time, escaping for some time. Doesn't solve the problem. Meditation means being yourself with a solution. And therefore, thereafter every perception is meditation. Every thought is meditation. Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadhi. Wherever the thoughts move, there you are with yourself. Nirguna, Shaguna, Upasana, both are beautiful. Same thing on Ishvara. There is somebody who cannot begin with himself. Everybody doesn't understand the language of the self, because the language of the self needs a little extraordinary intelligence. Not many people can think about themselves. That is the trouble. It's not that attitude. Why? Because people vary. Thinkings also vary. Somebody shall feel very comfortable with an idea of a God. So there are some people, you cannot talk to them about God or that type of stuff. It's nonsense. I am the person. What God? Why should I worship God? Who is He? Or who is He? Why should I believe in Him? Naturally. Where is the God doing anything? This is all nature. You can't convince them. But can the person deny himself? He has to begin with himself. But there are some minds who naturally fall for something supernatural or something extraordinary. There is a greater power other than this in this universe. Their mind falls for it. Okay, start with that. So you give them an idea of a God. But then the trouble is, please understand, the theologies which talk about exclusive God, they again successfully kill the individual. Because in an exclusive God, you shall never transcend that God. It's like if you call happiness means laddu, happiness means chocolate. Therefore you cannot dismiss the chocolate. Means happiness is chocolate. So the person is stuck on the chocolate. Understand? That happiness is in and through everything, the person doesn't understand. Happiness is chocolate. So God is this form. So you always remain as an individual. And where is he? Somewhere. Of course, invisible. You have a faith. Understand? You have to maintain that faith. In such an exclusive case, instead of that God defending you, the faith defending you, you have to defend the faith. You have to continuously defend the faith. And if anybody challenges it, you feel disturbed. Why? Because you have to hold on to it. It is not in yourself. It's somewhere. But you can start with that. Nothing wrong. When you're starting with that, then experience, then let that be just like the representation of earth with a globe. When a globe, your map is also included. Then when you visualize the whole globe inside you, in that, your body as well as the globe both goes into the earth. When you start with the form of a Ishvara, a particular form of a God, but if you then visualize the whole thing is, if you appreciate the vastness of it, in which you as well as the object of your worship both remain as a part of it. Then as you continue to see the earth, listen, as you continue to see the village, but you don't forget the earth, you continue to see a mountain, a tree, but you never forget the presence of the earth. Same way, whatever you perceive, you do not forget the presence of the totality. Just like you may touch somebody's leg, you know the person is there. You touch somebody's knee, you know the person is there. You touch his nose, the person is there. Wherever you touch, you see the person. So whatever you see, hear, taste, touch, you see God. Saguna Upasana. And when do you see that? When you come back to yourself. So once you give your body to the total body, mind to the total mind, you cannot escape being yourself. So from the Saguna Upasana, you go on to yourself, or you start with yourself. What is the happiness? Myself is happiness. Therefore, I am always that happiness, the absolute, nirguna. And that is something everywhere. And if you speak the language of happiness, how does your life become? In every experience, I see the happiness. So no sensation is taboo, no sensation is exclusively desirable. Everything is beautiful. In every perception, I am with myself. Pasyan, Srunvan, Jigran, Asnan, Gachan, Swapan, Pralapan, Visrujan, Unmishman, Nimishan, Nakinchiti Karomiti. Are you getting that point? How beautiful that verse in Bhagavad Gita. Seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, experiencing, giving, receiving. In every experience, I see myself. Like recognizing silence in every sound. Seeing the formless space in and through all forms. You see the form, but you don't see the touch of the formless space. You hear the sound, but you do not miss the silence in and through the sound. So you see the form, your body, your mind, but do not lose sight of the formless. So Ishvara, please see, both Vedas you can see, Saguna, Nirguna, that example of happiness becomes very beautiful, because if you consider an object, you equate the object with the happiness, you shall be a slave of the object. You shall be the slave of a sensation, and that is how most people end up with. Whether it is, food, sex, pleasure, other intense sensation. It may sound, touch, especially why human relationship becomes very crazy, because it gives you a security for survival, somebody gives you food. A security for pleasure also, sex, physical satisfaction. That is why human relationship becomes so extremely vulnerable you become. Your TV, you can get rid of just like that. Any inanimate object, you can get rid of just like that. Another person, you cannot get rid of. Listen, why talking always get rid of a person? Another person you cannot have also. You can't get rid of a person, nor you can get another person. Why? Because the person is with a personality. Are you getting that point, please? Flower, I can pick up. The flower will not say, I'm not going to go with you. Will the flower say that? I'm not going with you. Because you are a useless fellow, how can you, I am not going with you. Will the flower say that? You go to the gold shop, you go to the diamond shop, you go to radio shop, you go to any type of luxury car shop, car automobile shop, and you say, I want that Mercedes. Mercedes said, no, I'm not going with you. I don't think you are fit for me. Will the Mercedes say that? Nothing doing. Another human being? Try. Just try. I think you are very nice. So what? How does it matter to you? No, I thought you can, what you can? Get lost. What do you do? Just think. Impose yourself upon an object, another person, and see. Impose yourself on another person. Sit down here. Even the child will not like it. Even the child will like, sit down here. Yeah. Enduku? Why? Pukwa? Every language that why is very much asked. Why should I sit down here? By chance you depend on an object, and then you are tired of that object, get rid of it. You are tired of your car, sell it. You are tired of your old books, sell it. Tired of your dress, sell it off. Tired of your land, 100-acre land, sell it off. You're tired of your wife, tired of your husband, sell it. Ask the person, go. Then what happens? Oh, the person doesn't go away. Why? Because you are tired, the other person is still not tired. That is why in a sannyas, when you take sannyas, you are supposed to ask the permission not only of your parents, but by chance you are married, you should ask the permission of your wife and husband. You can't just run away, because living with him for 30-40 years, suddenly you are sannyasi. What about the girl or the boy with whom you are married, with whom you are living? You have to take permission from the person. Understand? Think. So if you hold on an object for satisfaction, that has become an obsession. That is no more. That is like when you are devoted to God, in the name of God you kill. You are devoted to drug, in the name of drugs you kill. You are infatuated with an object or a person. For the sake of that, you can destroy yourself or you can destroy others. Some people destroy themselves, some people destroy others. Why? Because object of satisfaction outside. If you see the happiness in yourself, then what happens? The presence or the absence of the object is equals, the same. Sarvatra samabuddhaya. Everything. Presence, object is there, excellent. Not there, fantastic. Why? I am happy with myself. Are you getting that point, please? As much as you don't, listen carefully, as much as you don't need an object for your happiness, listen to the statement, let it be digested. Huh? As much as you do not need an object, living or non-living, for your happiness, that much you don't create a need for you in others for their happiness. There comes your honesty in life. Because you don't need is one game, but create a need for you in others. Are you getting that point, please? The most dangerous game of this relationship is the need to be needed. In a personal relationship, when the person feels redundant, when he is no more needed. If you don't use the car doesn't feel bad. If you don't use your food, the food doesn't feel needed. Food doesn't feel bad. If you don't use a person, if you don't need a person, I don't need you for anything, that is where the services are dismissed. Your services are redundant. Your presence is not required. The person in the office feels threatened. My services are not required. The confident person, my services are not required. So these fellows don't need it. Another office will need it. Or I don't have to. I'm happy with myself. Keep it with yourself. Who cares? So as long as you have a need to be needed, you are unconsciously depend upon the person or objects to need you. Objects don't need person to need you. When you are happy with yourself, you don't need anyone, need anybody, nor you create a need for you in somebody's heart. But if somebody creates a need for you, that you can't help it. Are you getting that? I don't need anything. I don't need anything, I don't need anybody. Why? I am the happiness itself. But you cannot stop other people needing you. Understand? So that is where, if you want to help the other persons to take away the need for you, help them to discover the happiness in themselves. But for helping the person to discover the happiness in themselves, first the person must be convinced that what he needs is not an object or a person, but a happiness in himself. Because until he finds the happiness in himself, he shall have the dependence on the object. And friends, by depending, nobody has become independent. There's a contradiction in terms. Just like, listen, just like two types of theology in the world. One theology makes an exclusive God. Some are godless. That's also difficult to be followed. And some others are, God is exclusive. Or some others say, no, God has no form. The God, the formless one, is our God. Huh? And he is not available in any form. Another extreme view. Are you getting that point? Both ways it's a mistake. Are you getting that? If the formless is the God and he is not available in any form, that means in the creation there is no creator. That is why you destroy the creation. How unfortunate. As even confining God to a particular form becomes a crime, ignorance, giving the nameless, formless a name called God and keeping it away from the forms also becomes another mistake. That is why the theologies, which depends upon that type of thinking, they will never solve people's problem. They will go on adding to it. Are you getting that? It's like happiness is an exclusive zone, formless, absolute. It is not in the object. What way it solves our problem? Or if you say happiness is only in that object, not in myself and not everywhere, again it is a problem. But what it is? Happiness is myself everywhere, also in and through every experience. What an idea. So which one are you now comfortable with? You want to be happy with yourself? Or with and through every experience you see the happiness? Choose. Both are same. Did you get that point, please? Appreciate. It's very, very subtle. I'll repeat it again. See the similarity between religious principles of the world. I don't want to name the religions, those who deal with that. At the moment you name it, oh, some fellow will shoot you. But you think it about yourself. Not necessary to name it, but think of the concepts. Please think of the concepts. If you give, just please understand from the happiness you go now, okay? If you consider happiness if you equate happiness with an object, think. If you equate happiness with an object, it will be always different from you. You will end up looking for happiness, the grace of that object for happiness. Why? Happiness is an object. Are you getting that point? Happiness is in the object. Therefore, you shall continuously looking for the grace of the object, because that object should make me happy. So you are a permanent devotee, that is a permanent icon of happiness. You shall never reach it. Finished. And by chance you shout too much, okay, after death. Why? This is not happiness. If you say if you confine God to a particular form, then you say somewhere. Why? Because if he is here, where is he? Not visible, no? So as after death. So fantastic, successful postponement after death. Dangerous. Now please see. So if you understand the language, if you say this object is the object of happiness, then I go on praying to that object for my happiness, I'll never get it. Okay. Another person says, happiness is formless absolute. Don't give the happiness a form. It's formless absolute. And it is not in any form. That means it is not in you either. So he is permanently happiness, you are permanently unhappy. You understand the two extremes now? Replace that happiness with God. God is in this form. This is the only form of God. Where he is? Somewhere. Then you are a permanent devotee, separated from him, looking for happiness, looking for God, looking for divinity. And then they have elaborate rules and regulations. All these things you should not do, and all these things you should do. A huge list of do's, huge list of don'ts. Nobody can fulfill the entire list, therefore nobody shall ever find. And by chance one fellow has found, you make him an extreme, you won't believe it, but by chance some fellow has done that. Who has started this nonsense, he is supposed to have found it, but he is gone, so you can't question him, and he is unquestioned, unquestionable. Not only he, but the books also he has given, both are unquestioned and unquestionable. Where is your hope? You are dead. Understand? Another person says, that God, no form. Don't don't give him a form at all. You are committing a mistake. Okay. So he is the formless and totally away from the creation. All right. One person gives a form outside the creation. Other person makes it a formless and it is totally outside the creation. Now what do you do? If you say, no, there are some mystics in those religions, they see that God. If that book says that God, in that it is totally outside the creation, now these mystics, don't you think they are making a mistake by seeing that God in themselves? That is why the hardcore believer of that religion will not accept those mystics. They shall brand them as mistakes. How can you see it in yourself? God is somewhere, no? Permanently out of creation. You are permanently inside the creation. And He is outside the creation. Do you understand the defect? To think is something, sir. If you think, you can see that for yourself. Please appreciate. So both make a huge mistake. Exclusive religions of the world, mostly, many theologies, they commit this mistake. And by chance there is one person says, no, there is no God. Because He is in and through everything, therefore there is no God as a particular form. Then the person who is talking about it, he becomes a God. You don't know what to do with it. Understand? Happiness. And if you see that point clearly, same thing about happiness. If you equate happiness with the object, our whole life ends in an endless struggle, finding that happiness in that, or looking for the grace of that object for happiness. And friends, you don't get it. The taste of it is living things. If I say, listen, if I say happiness in the object, in the flower, I enjoy the flower, I smell it, I touch it, I taste it, I do everything. Yes, it gave me a little thing, but then, after some time I'm tired of it, I throw it away. It's no good. Okay, it has a place. Suppose another person, you think that person will make me happy all the time. That also you don't find. Why? If you remain unhappy, nobody can give you the happiness, because you can't believe. That is why to make an unhappy person happy is an impossible target, impossible pursuit. Are you getting that person? A person who is unhappy with himself, please try to make the person happy. Why? The person's assumption is what? I am unhappy. Nobody cares. Do you care? Oh. Understand? I am unhappy. I am miserable. Can you make a person happy who has already decided that he is totally miserable and stupid? That is the mantra. I am unhappy, I am miserable. Even if somebody tries to make the person happy, the person will never, can ever accept it. His only pleasure is sleep, during which he will forget that idea for some time. Rest of the time, permanent shadow. That is why the person must understand himself. To forget that idea that knowing about myself is not selfishness, you have to break that barrier. Nothing matters to me until I solve my problem for myself. A brand new car, beautiful road, if you cannot drive, whom are you blaming? Driver or the car? A lovely body, beautiful creation. Your living is in problem. Whom shall you blame? Body, creation, or yourself? You can say, but the way the ideas have been given to me, okay, question the idea and question yourself. If ideas are stupid, dismiss. Does it stand your reasoning? If it doesn't stand your reasoning, dismiss it right now. Can there be happiness in the object? Cannot be. Object can provide me certain comfort or discomfort. Air conditioning can make me comfortable in cold, in a warm climate. A heater in the room can make me comfortable in the cold climate. It's not going to make me happy. Happiness is one thing, comfort is something else. Do I want to be comfortable or happy? Most people go into that mode where you are lulled to comfort. Beautiful music, nice food, nobody talks to nobody, so nice. Oh. Comfortable. When you go back home, you miss the camaraderie, friendship, nice food, nice thing, nothing to do, so nice. You become a lazy bone. That is where people, when they leave sometimes in an ashrams, usually they are incapacitated. After that, they can't leave anywhere. Because all facilities are given, everything is given. Food means ding, 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 food. That food must be prepared, organized. They don't understand. Ding, 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 food. Sweet, oh, so many devotees bringing in sweets, oh, every day. Today this sweet, tomorrow that sweet, oh, it's wonderful. Mango season, mango. Everything there. So, then you go back outside, none of these things are available. Mango season, dirty mangoes on the roadside. You remember, nothing like ashram mango. A bell is not ringing. During the food and the bell is not ringing. What is this? How do I get my food? Bell is not ringing. Oh, that's right. Oh. Other people are sweeping the whole floor, whole place, everything is sweeping. And nobody is sweeping in front of my door. See, I'm not used to this type of disrespect. I'm a Swami. My room must be cleaned. So you have picked up so much of holiness. You are destroyed. Understand. Please, fix up your life. The moment you see that in yourself, I am the happiness, then what happens is nirguna. That is, to be happy, I don't need anything or anybody. And whatever I see, hear, taste, touch, in and through that, whatever experience, in and through that, I see myself. So, saguna, nirguna. You are comfortable with the names and forms, comfortable with the formless, nameless. What else is there? Life is a song. It's absolutely beautiful. As much comfortable with things, that much comfortable without it. And that is what Bhagavan says. Just see that. When Arjuna says, oh Lord, which one is better? He says, Maya Veshya Mano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasate. Hey Arjuna, Mam Mayi Aveshya Manaha, those who surrender, or those who revel, whose minds revel in me. When he says revel in me now, don't take it as a person. Again and again I have to tell. When Krishna says me, now when he says God says I, it is no more one name with one form. It's the whole universe. So somebody sees the totality in him. Nitya Yukta, eternally united, inseparable from the universe, the totality. Shraddhaya Parayopeta. And with that attitude, when he is worshipping, Yuktatama Mata. He is Yuktatama. Bhagavan gives him a very nice, sort of encouragement, a place, because most people are comfortable with the forms. While seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, I am happy with myself. Beautiful. Don't talk about a person, don't talk about him who says, I am happy with myself. That's fantastic. But even the person who says, while seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, experiencing everything, I am with myself. Fantastic. Yuktatama. Why? More people will be comfortable, happy with themselves while perceiving, and a rare few, means some matured people, as it is, happy with themselves. Let's not talk about them. And who are they? He talks to him. Yetu aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam pariyupasate. Those who are reveling in aksharam, imperishable, naksharati, that which never perishes. Body perishing, creation changing, perishing, sansargan changing, aging, perishing, thoughts continuously aging, changing, perishing. Yourself aksharam, naksharati. And something anirdeshyam, nothing can ever point it out. No sense organs can ever grab it. Eyes can't see it because it's not a form to be seen. Asabdam, asparsham, arupa, marasam, agandham, not a sound to be heard. Who you are is not a sound to be heard, not a sight to be seen, not a touch to be touched, not a smell to be smelt, not a taste to be tasted. Yet you are. Avyaktam, unmanifest. Eyes can see manifest things. Whatever you see is manifest, a thought is manifest. In whose presence thoughts are seen, unmanifest. Nothing can see it. You can be yourself. You can't see as a perception. Sarvatragam. And where is it? Sarvatragam. Sarvatra gacchati. It has gone into every place. Achintyam cannot be thought over because it's not a memory. Listen carefully. Can't be thought over. A thought is something which reminds you. Please see the beauty. That it cannot be thought over is a blessing or a curse? It's a huge blessing, understand. Why? If it has to be thought over, by then thought is forgotten. You are forgotten. How sweet it is, you understand? This knowledge, so effortless. Susukham karta. Why you forget people? Why you forget things? Because it depends on a thought. The thought doesn't come. You get involved with something more important, the last thing is forgotten. I told you, go to the airport and pick up somebody. You started writing something, picking up your account, or went to purchase vegetable. Ayyo, marandate. I forgot. What is forgot? The thought did not come. Now, suppose I forgot. What? I didn't know about myself. Forgot. What a problem. Because with the thought, if it has to remember, so certain thoughts never come. You shall never remember yourself. Lucky. You don't need a thought to be yourself, nor you need a perception to be yourself. Because you are, therefore thoughts come. Because you are, therefore perceptions happen. Absolutely free. This is, Shankara says so nicely. Okay, we'll see it tomorrow. That is very nice. What is this upasana? Okay, upasate kutastham kutavastishtati, existing as the center of everything, absolutely steady. Or a kute banjanaya mayayam tishtati. It is in and through the ignorance, the whole creation is existing. Achalam, since it is in and through everything, achalam, immobile. Tasmat dhruvam, steady. Never you can lose sight of it. Sanyamya indriya gramam. We shall see that tomorrow. Sarvatra samabuddhaya. A person who is sarvatra samabuddhaya. Everywhere you see the sameness. Language of God in and through everything. Happiness in and through all experiences. How do they see it? Sanyamya indriya gramam. The sense organs of action, everything's own place. Thoughts, no more disturbs. Understand? No, please take this. Thoughts never disturbed you. You got disturbed by thought. Listen to the bird. Disturbing you or entertaining you? neither. Bird is singing. If you are in a bad mood, why that ee? Okay. You are in a good mood? Ah, lovely bird sound. You are in a good mood, somebody is smiling. How do you say? Look at the child, how beautiful the smile is. Okay. You are in a bad mood, somebody is smiling. Why are you all the time? If your mood is stupid, you want everybody must be stupid. If you are miserable, everybody should be miserable. So you will find comfort. Why? After all, I am not the only one miserable. Everybody is miserable. So nice. If you are a happy man, you don't care. Why? Even in the misery, another mood, who bothers? So thoughts don't affect you. Understand? You allow yourself to be affected by thought, of course unconsciously, because you are not aware of yourself. So when the person is aware of himself, things remaining as it is, they mameva prapnuvanti. Here Arjuna, they come to me alone. Sarvabhuta hite rata. Sarvabhutanam hita tasmineva rata. Sarvabhuta hite rata does not mean serving the humanity. That's a nonsensical intervention. Sarvabhuta hite rata. Sarvabhutanam hita. What is that something which is good for everybody? The truth, the self, the happiness, the God. Name it whichever language like. Tasmineva rata. Who revels in that which is a blessing for everybody. Nobody stands apart from it. That is why everybody is divine, everybody is blessed. Here, Arjuna, such people, don't talk about them. Absolute, nameless, formless revelry. Even the person who sees me in and through everything, that also is fine. Like, take the example. One who is happy with himself at all times, all places, all conditions. Excellent. Another one, in and through every perception, he sees the happiness in himself. That also is excellent. Which one you like to have? Sometime this, sometime that. Go ahead. Always in myself. Don't be stupid. That will not work. For you to keep arrogant, you will not forget yourself. But you have to remember your body to maintain it. Don't be idealist, that person never remembered the world. I mean, the earlier you get out of this nonsense, better it is. That person was so much that when even they were cutting open his stomach, he was still conscious. So what shall happen? There are many soldiers during Second World War operated like that. Shall I say they are all wise men? Because there is no, what is that? What do they give? Anesthesia. No anesthesia. No air-conditioned operation theatre. One fellow has to grab the fellow, other has to put a iron rod in the mouth and hold it up and cut it. They went through it all. Or another, okay, cut it. What can any of the other alternative is death. Cut it. What to do? It is painful, but cut it. So shall we call them wise people? But look at them, how fantastic people. So just because somebody in the comforts of everything, okay, cut my tail, or cut my something. Oh, see the wise man, how he takes it. Don't idealize too much. Person is absolutely sure of his food, starving for 2 days. Shall I worship him? There are hundreds of people starving for days together. If starvation, renunciation, austerity is a measure of spirituality, then every poor man, the ultimate spiritual person. Don't be ridiculous. Be happy with yourself. Then live with this creation, remembering every moment, happiness through every experience, divinity everywhere. Formless absolute, or in under the forms, Ishvara alone is existing. Both way, devotion is complete. Please see that. We'll see more of it tomorrow. Close your eyes.